And that's the drunk tank. And this is Mommy's desk.
Mom, I know your intentions are good, but aren't the police a protective force that maintains the status quo for the wealthy elites? Don't you think we ought to attack the roots of social problems instead of jamming people into overcrowded prisons?
Look, Lisa. It's McGriff, the crime dog. Hello, Lisa. Help me bite crime. Ruff, ruff.
The percentage of Americans in the prison system has doubled since 1985.
They're trying to build a prison. And they're trying to build a prison. They're trying to build a prison for you and me. Oh, baby.
Truth is, I don't know what I want. I've had this feeling for a long time. It's like I'm standing outside myself, watching me do things I don't want to do, you know? Just seeing me like I'm somebody else, but never ever being able to stop the show. I'm tired.
How can we expect kids who grow up seeing this to turn out anything like these kids? The way we were raised and the conditions in which we grow up determine how we think and who we are. These conditions determine our place in society. Now, we've all heard rags to riches stories, and they give us hope that one day we might escape our economic state as well, but this is a distortion, because the truth is that social mobility is a myth.
Yeah. Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is, not everything comes down to how you carry it in the street. I mean, it do come down to that if you're gonna be in the street. That ain't the only way to be.
Well, here it is.
Yeah. Now here it is. The world is bigger than that. At least that's what they tell me.
Like, how do you get from here to the rest of the world?
I wish I knew.
Let me ask, and I want everybody to write this down. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
I want to be a pediatric neurosurgeon like that one nigga.
How many wrote down dead?
Shit, you saw that coming, huh?
Shame y'all have so little time and you're wasting it here with us. You know where you're going, and we can't teach you anything you don't know about that, right?
That's what we've been saying.
The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Our money game has become so sick and distorted that when these people, the people who lose out the most, lash back out at society, instead of helping them, we lock them up.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be.
Most of us probably don't think this is the way things are supposed to be.
I'm a human being, god damn it! My life has value!
Why do people kill or rape? These are questions we don't have all the answers to, but if we want to stop crime, it would make sense to find out more about the conditions that cause the crime and work to alleviate and possibly eliminate those conditions. Because a criminal is a human being, just like you, just like me, just with a different set of circumstances. A murderer is a mentally sick person, and they should be helped, not locked together with each other in an environment that nurtures their psychoses. By allowing this, we are manufacturing the stereotypical sociopathic criminals we see depicted on about 800 police shows. We've turned crime reduction into a game, a chase, cops and robbers and adrenaline rushes. It's not about stopping crime, it's about fighting criminals. We say no instead of asking why.
Who's winning?
No one wins. One side just loses more slowly.
We ignore the root causes of problems and we fight the symptoms. We call for justice, but is it really justice to take people who are sick or confused and abuse them further? We take kids in for vandalism or drug charges and we turn them into murderers. The system chews them up and spits them out even more trouble than when they came in. This is how we are treating the people in society who need us the most. The United States prison population is growing. And why not? They've privatized prisons. They need to turn a profit, which means they need more criminals. Fighting crime has become a growth industry, so if crime doesn't grow, then prison becomes bad business. So what do? We create new laws, put more people in jail. We run insane campaigns like the war on drugs, which puts millions of non-violent people into cages. And as I said before, people in cages tend to go a little bit mad. And even if they've never hurt another person, the stats say that they're much more likely to now that we've decided they should do some jail time. In our efforts to fight crime rather than resolve it, we've taken away people's rights. Because fundamentally, our freedoms are in conflict with authorities' ability to administer punishment. Think about how many times on a TV show you've seen a police protagonist who knows that they know who the murderer is, but they just don't have the evidence necessary for a search warrant. Don't you find yourself rooting for them a bit when they break into the killer's house to snag the DNA sample and bring home the case? I know I do. These types of shows act as if people's rights are merely a nuisance in the way of law enforcement, and they aren't wrong. And don't get me wrong, people shouldn't be allowed to get away with whatever they want. I'll say it again, these people are sick, mentally crippled, and our insane ideas of justice are just causing more and more crime because crime and punishment feed off each other and grow and grow and grow until we live in a police state where it's not only at work and schools where we're watched, observed, and corrected. It's everywhere, all the time, and that's the end of freedom. What we need to do is learn compassion. If a man intentionally killed someone close to me, I'd be outraged, obviously confused. Words can't even explain how I'd feel. And maybe I'm giving myself too much credit, but I don't think I'd forget how sick that man is. And I don't think I'd want anything for him other than help. He'll forever have to live with the life he took. My main worry is that he gets well enough not to do it again to someone else. I'm not concerned that he pays for what he did. Punishment has not shown to be an effective crime deterrent. By understanding and addressing root causes, by actually fixing problems, we might be able to make real social progress, really eliminate crime. I'll say it again, we need to learn compassion.
Good night, Moon. Who said it?
Good night, Moon.
Here we go. Good night, stars.
Good night, stars.
Good night, Popo.
Good night, Popo.
Good night, Figs.
Good night, Fiends.
Good night, Hoppers.
Good night, Hoppers.
Good night, Hustlers.
Good night, Hustlers.
Good night, Scammers.
Good night, Scammers.
Good night to everybody.
Good night to everybody.
Good night to one and all.
Good night to one